As today is Wednesday, February the 5th, 2025. This is my trade review. We'll start out with the market bias. I had a relatively neutral market bias that opened in an inside bar. For me, as long as it holds above the 50, rising 50 moving average, I think there was a chance that it was going to bounce. And that's kind of what happened with the market. Same thing with the Qs here, kind of like an inside day, and it moved right into, again, this trend line has been here since December 5th. So yeah, more or less the same thing with the spies. The only stock trade I did was Uber. Today I liked that it gapped, it was an earnings gap. So it hit the 200 MA and failed. Well, I guess it just gapped down because of earnings. And I was kind of looking at it under 66 area, I would like to say. Yeah, under 66. Honestly, there wasn't a lot of void in between. Let's actually just dive into the trade. So this was the actual trade. It was igniting bar, resting bar, and then it went. I actually got in a little bit early because it was kind of closing up here. So my trade was actually 64.80 by 65.50 where this bar was, and it kind of clipped me in, and it just sold off. And I got tagged out. I moved my stop loss a little, few pennies early, but looking back at this trade at the time here, if I just draw the line right here, you can kind of see there's some junk here. I did have some reservations, and looking back at the pre-market, I usually don't look at it, but if we were to look at the pre-market, there there is some junk here up until 64.50, but I thought at least maybe I get to trade it lower and they just progress down, but it never happened. I got tripped out in this area and I got tagged out. The second trade, I'm a bit disappointed in how I managed this, honestly. AVGO has been on my list ever since this pendant kind of formed, but I started pushing up above the 50 moving average. Just take a look at this really quick. So I like the fact that it gapped above, kind of in this pendant area, and I was watching it for it to go above a 230 area, and that's kind of what it did. It opened and pulled back, and it bounced. So what I saw was a double bottom retest kind of push above the VWAP, and I kind of got in right as it pushed. It pulled back and it pushed up. So to be specific, I went in on a 2 minute. It was holding this 9 EMA, sorry, 20 EMA, the orange line, 21 EMA, and pushed up, pulled back, held the VWAP, and this is the bar that I decided to go in. My entry was 230.3, and I gave it to 228. It went up. I felt pretty good, and I started pulling back kind of below the 9 EMA, and that's where I told myself, you know what, I don't want to take a loss. I pretty much got out at break even. It's like 0.09 R. But man, it held VWAP, it held the 20 moving average, and just held this would have hit 2R. This My 2R would have been was what is it, 230.3 to 8. My 2R would have been 234.90. No, like right there. So I'm quite disappointed. I should have at least tried to trade it back to the top, even though that wasn't 2R. That was at least 1.5. So disappointed with the management with this one. So as far as stock trade is concerned, I'm down 0.84. Then I took a few more options trade. Kind of broke my own rule. I talked about only trading spies in the queues, but I went ahead and traded a bit more. We'll pull up this guy right here. Um, so these were my trades on the spies, which is the first option. I traded this at 10.20. And man, this was my first experience of it kind of running off. 10.20 right here. And honestly, what I was looking at this time was I should have bought it right as it touched the 9 EMA if I was going to go in. Area of resistance down 9 EMA, you got moved up. It wasn't very strong. There's no volume on any of this. And that's kind of what I entered on at 10.12, which was a little bit late. I think I still had the mindset of stock going below a certain price before I go in, so I got filled here and it immediately pushed up. One of the things I didn't manage well was getting out. I'm not used to options yet, and I tried to get out at the mid price, and it just kept going and going and going, and I lost a little bit more than I lost 41 cents. Like I should have only lost maybe like 20 cents, but it just it kind of it shot up really quick on this one. I want to see if it shows right here. Yeah. So this was about 41 cents. Um, yeah, not great. Next time, just go for the bid and count the blessings. So that was the only bad scalp, down 41 cents. And then we'll go to Google. This one I went in at 10:15. So shortly after, just because I felt that Google was relatively weak to the market. So let me just double check here. 10:15. Yeah, I saw that it didn't have a good time pushing up. It couldn't break this area, still under 9 EMA. I decided short. This one was a quick 20 cents. And just to show you relative to the market where we're at, yeah, let's go to a 1 minute actually. 10:15 right here. It was hugging the 9 EMA, and then the market was at least holding this area. So Google was weak during the first section of the morning. This one I took I took 20 cents, a clean 20 cents from there for the puts, and then also Microsoft. This one I traded at 10:48. This was basically a break even trade. What I saw, sorry, 10:48 was I was expecting this to fail, but it just kept bouncing. It kept bouncing. 10:48, 10:48. Yeah. So it just kept bouncing. I just did not feel good about this one. So I pretty much got out at break even. Tiny gain for 5 cents. I'm glad I got out of that because this would have went my way and would have looked really ugly really fast. And then the last scalp I did for options was Amazon. This one was at 11:14. So this was off this trend line that I drew at the time. 11:14 right here. It stayed below the trend line. I What I was aiming for was this double top failure at the VWAP area coming down the trend line, closing below the 9 EMA. So I went in as it passed through, and then I got a full 30 cents on this one. I think this went up to like 40 cents or 45 cents, and then eventually it bounced, which is right on cue at this area of support. So on the options, I was actually up 14 cents. If I had managed to spy trade a little bit better, I wouldn't have taken that much of a loss, maybe 30 cents max, but I just let it run. I kept adjusting it and it wouldn't fill. So lesson learned, I'll be a little bit better. I'll be better next time. So all in all, stock trade down 8.84R. On the options, I'm up 14 cents. So that's my trade review for Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. Thank you.